Welcome to K&K's Indie Gaming Corner. I'm your host, Karrington, and I have my lovely co-host here with me who's growing a fantastic mustache for all you video watchers, Kyle.
I'm here. I'm here, and I feel like a grown-up guy with whiskers above my upper lip.
Because you definitely do have that. And from last recording to this recording, I shaved, so I'm clean shaven now.
From rough to baby face, and from baby face to rough upper lip.
Yes, that is how we roll here. um, we have a fantastic show for you lined up today. We're going to talk about some games that we've one game we've been streaming a little bit. Kyle, I noticed you've been playing it on your Steam profile, and
Mhm.
one game you actually gifted me, and the others are completely brand new to me. And we've
Yep.
got some news ahead of us as well. Let's just jump into it. So first up, we have Vengeful Guardian Moonrider. And Kyle, I just mentioned earlier that you gifted me a game. You gifted me Vengeful Guardian
Mhm.
Moonrider.
Mhm.
I am going to say I was surprised, so thank you very much for that.
Mhm.
Uh,
Anytime.
so, what is Vengeful Guardian Moonrider? Amazing. I don't know. I haven't played it yet. I haven't touched it yet. I haven't touched it yet. But the description is in the oppressed world of vengeful guardian Moonrider, humanity finds an unlikely hero. After building an army of super soldiers as weapons of war, the authoritarians unwittingly seal their own fates by bringing online the ninja warrior known as Moonrider. Conceived as a tool to preserve the totalitarian state, the Moonrider instead rejects its intended purpose and wages a relentless battle for vengeance against its creators and fellow super soldiers. Wow, that is a mouthful.
It is.
Um, but it's also a Metroidvania, which is what drew me to it almost immediately. And plus, you're a robot ninja. What more do you want?
Yeah, I think that's well. That is very well worded to put. Yeah, that's That is a well worded way to put it. Carrington, when I saw this game, I thought it might be something that we definitely want to check out and share with our listeners and viewers. Vengeful Guardian looks like. So when I first saw it, it reminded me of um, uh, a heavily inspired mashup of like Contra meets Metroid meets Mega Man X. So there's platforming, some wicked, awesome looking boss fights that you encounter, and fast paced combat as well. All 2D, 2D style as far as the gameplay goes. And I noticed in the trailer itself, it's funny because it goes back to like this old VHS style of a presentation for the trailer, and then it kicks into the game afterwards. Definitely 90s nostalgia in the trailer. And within the gameplay itself, there is a motorcycle level where you're looking at the back end of the ninja as he's fighting on his motorcycle, and totally reminds me of those really difficult 2D Contra levels that people, including myself, absolutely get frustrated with. It looks challenging, but it looks beautiful in its own way.
Absolutely, 100%. It's got some wonderful 2D art. The animation looks fantastic, which is another thing that kind of drew me to it. So I can't wait to dive into it. Um, I think right now we're in a golden age for 2D games right now because I'm gonna talk about it a little bit later. But in a game I've been playing on stream a little bit, and another game that I've noticed you've been playing is Zero Sievert. Don't want to get into it yet, but that's just another
Mhm.
beautiful 2D gorgeous game. And I think 2D games are just they're in right now. They're
They are
hot,
very
and
much
the
so.
the love and care um that the creators show them is just I, I got no words.
Amazing. Yeah,
Yeah, yep.
absolutely.
It's from Joy Masher, Vengeful Guardian Moonrider from Joy Masher. It's available on PC, Switch, PS4, and 5. No Xbox here, unfortunately, which is kind of
Mm-mm-mm.
sad, but who never know in this day
We'll
and
see it
age.
on there at some
That's
point.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
um, like I said, I don't know. I can't say too much about it right now, only because I haven't touched it yet. Um, but it looks beautiful, and I cannot wait
Yeah,
to dig my
I
teeth
can't
into
wait
it.
to see you play it, and I'll pick it up myself. You were talking about figuring out what to stream the other night. I thought, well, maybe you would stream this, but you gotta do another game
I
that we'll
did.
probably talk about here in a little bit too.
Oh, I didn't. We should add it on to. We should talk about it
Yeah,
right now
go
because
ahead.
it's
Yeah.
not even on the list. Yeah, I was trying to figure out what to stream. You gifted that to me, and I was like, I'm gonna try this really quick, and that is Dune Spice Wars. Um, wow, wow.
Does it have anything to do with Spice Girls?
It has everything to do with Spice Girls.
Okay.
Just to let you
They
know.
they run their own factions.
Absolutely. You pick
Sporty
your favorite.
Spice,
Yeah, you pick your favorite
Ginger,
Spice Girl, and then
mhm,
you have to
dance
take over
battle
the
against
world.
everybody.
100%.
Yes.
But Dune Spice Wars is from Shiro Games. It is on PC only.
Hmm.
It's an early access still. It's a real time strategy game. And can I say it's just like the movie and it's just like the book, and that it is a slow start. Wow,
Okay.
it's a slow start. But it picks up and it picks up fast. And you're having to juggle a lot of different concepts the game throws at you at the same time, because your resources are very limited, just like in the world of Dune. You have to balance, water, spice, solari, which is your money, influence, fuel, manpower. I'm probably forgetting other things,
Hmm.
and that's just the resources you have to balance. And then you have agents you have to go put on missions. You have your military you got to take care of. You have you have to watch out for sandworms when you're digging for spice, just like in the universe. You have the political aspect with the different factions while you're playing as well. Who do you want to be friends with? Who do you want to take out first? It's just a lot going on. You got to
Hmm.
vote on stuff, and at the same time, there's a technology tree. It is overwhelming.
Yeah, I definitely got Civilization vibes when I was
Hmm.
watching you play. Which I've never really been into the Civ games, but I feel like this game would definitely stand out to that kind of a crowd. Maybe.
Yes, I would say so for sure because the way trading works, it's very Civ like and this is real time strategy because Civ is turn based. So, but I just want to make that clear
Hmm.
to anyone listening out there. Civilization is turn based. Dune is real time. So, but a lot of the same. What's the word I'm looking for? A lot of the same, you know,
Mechanics.
mechanics. Thank you.
Uh,
A lot of the same mechanics are in Dune, and so it's a different feel when you have to deal with things in real time, whether it's trading, people trying to attack you, which can happen constantly, taking over villages, trying to make them happy. It is a whole deal, and it is so much fun to try and um, balance. And I was shocked, and I'm glad that a viewer of ours, Fairfax, said he had
mhm.
over 100 hours in the game. So
Oh wow.
he helped me a
Yeah.
lot trying to teach me a lot of the concepts while I was trying to learn at the same time. I can't wait to dig into it again because as soon as I stopped playing, I was like, I gotta play again. I have to play again.
So that's Dune, Spice Run,
Spice Wars.
Spice Wars, Spice
Hmm.
Run, something else. Oh.
I don't know, but it's still in early access right now.
Mhm.
But wow, it's also winning tons of awards. It was even at the Game of the Year awards as
Oh,
best. I think it was indie.
oh wow.
It didn't win. It didn't win, but
Right.
I think it was listed for an award for an award at the Game of the Years. But I can't remember which one it was. But I think it was best indie.
So for you, you've read the Dune books, right?
The first one, yes.
You watched the movie.
Yep, both of them, the '80s and the most recent one.
Does this game scratch does this game scratch the Dune for you as far as jumping into Dune lore? Like, do you find yourself kind of becoming obsessed with it and enjoying it for the additional, I don't know, the lore that you're able to dive into?
100%. 100%. Because there's even this game that my brother has. It's a board game. I can't remember what it's called. It's Dune.
Hmm.
I don't remember what like it's called, but it's Dune. And it's funny how do I want to word this? I love how Dune is getting a bunch of love in a different aspects, whether
Hmm.
it be movies and now video
Movies,
games.
games. Yep.
Um, because the 80s version of the movie did not do the book justice.
Hmm.
And so having a way to be able to dive into that world in other aspects, not just through the books or the movie, because I even have a couple of the comics as well that are recently coming out. And I love the world so much. I find it fascinating.
Yeah. Well, I should definitely dive into that. I have yet to watch the movie or read the book. 'Cause it's funny because I was actually in stream with your dad was in there, and I
Yes, he
was talking
was.
about reading something like a new book to read, and he recommended reading the Dune series.
I would highly recommend it. It's slow at
Yeah.
first, and then it just boom, it just goes, because it explains a lot of like mechanics and concepts of the world to you. Like it
Hmm.
literally explains it to you, and I think the newer movie, does a good job with that as well. It tries to explain the world to you without trying to be overwhelming. But
Is
the
it
game is overwhelming for sure.
is it free to play or did you have to pay for it?
It is on Game Pass.
Okay.
That's how I played it. But
Okay.
if you want it, I think it's $20 right now.
Okay. Yeah, that's not too bad
Yeah. The next game I haven't seen, um, as of
at
this
all.
recording at all. Not even a little bit.
Wow. Okay.
Space for the Unbound from Mojikin. Not sure if
Hmm.
I'm pronouncing that right. So I'll read the description, and Kyle, definitely put this on the list, and so you can just kind of dive into it if you
Yeah.
want to. So it says A Space for the Unbound is a slice of adventure game with beautiful pixel art set in the late 90s, rural Indonesia that tells a story about overcoming anxiety, depression, and the relationship between a boy and a girl with special powers.
Yes. So this is a game that I had seen the trailer for, and I had heard other podcast outlets talk about it as well. So I wanted to do a little research on it, and it is a game with beautiful pixel art. It looks like it has a story that definitely pulls the player in and gets a hold of their attention. From the trailer itself, it looks like you encounter some interesting beasts and monsters, uh, and kind of follow the story of this boy and this girl. It's absolutely charming looking. I've heard that there is some pretty crazy twists in the game, and as far as the special powers go, they utilize a book that is able to kind of I don't want to say cast spells on people, but um, allows them to manipulate I guess, the world around them for the better good.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Um, so yeah, it's something to keep on your radar. It has recently released. It's available on basically everything. And if you're interested into a retro style game with good storytelling, based in the '90s rural Indonesia, then I think you should definitely check this out. I'm gonna be picking it up, and I feel like I feel like stories that revolve around anxiety and depression, it's just somehow I don't know. It's our
It's
I don't
our
know. We get drawn to that.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
I feel like those stories are deeper stories that we get
Mm-hmm.
out of video games, and I appreciate that a lot. So
Uh,
that's all I've got to say about it. As you can see in the trailer, it's definitely a unique looking game and an experience that I feel like you, the listener, the viewer, you Carrington, you might want to take advantage of in 2023.
Now, I do have a question. Do
Okay.
you think they took inspiration from? I hope I'm saying this right though. Ico, um, the team that made Shadow of the Colossus. It was their first game. It was about a boy and a girl with special powers.
It's possible. I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Um, but I'm not super familiar with it.
Okay.
I'm familiar with Shadow of the Colossus, but I've not played Ico, so I
Okay.
can't speak to that.
Okay. I was just curious, you know. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's a ripoff or anything. I'm just saying
No.
inspiration because I feel like
Right.
enough time has definitely passed for people to be inspired by a game like that.
Well, you look at it, yeah. I mean, games nowadays have some kind of inspiration from some kind of video game in the past.
Hmm.
We're at that point with media where something is inspired by something else.
And it feels weird to say this, but Ico I think came out in
It
2002.
was a
I
long time
think
ago.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was a long time ago.
PS2 game.
Very much PS2 era. So I mean, I'm not saying it has to, but if it does, another itch that it can scratch for sure.
Yeah.
But the themes that it's covering, I'm like, I have to play. I
Yeah.
have to play. And if it's anything like Omari, I don't know if I'll enjoy it because Omari was too heavy. It was too crazy.
Uh-huh.
But
I've heard,
but what was he gonna say?
yeah, I heard Amari was quite a bit darker too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. So, but if Space for the Unbound is anything like that, I may not enjoy it.
Hmm.
If it's more like Celeste or Rhyme, I'll probably enjoy it more.
I have a feeling this probably goes into a little bit darker than Celeste and Rhyme, just from
Mhm.
what I've heard.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I still can't wait though.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely, you have to definitely check it out. But since the other previous games are games that you and I, either one of us haven't seen or both of us haven't really seen, the games that I would want to recommend to you just from hearing other people and other people's anticipation than actually looking up the game itself, it's like, oh, that game definitely is something that would speak to me or speak to you, Carrington. So I think our
Hmm.
viewers would definitely appreciate it.
Yes, and my brother introduced it to me. It is Zero Sievert from Cabo Studio, available only on Steam. Zero Sievert is a tense top-down extraction shooter that challenges you to scavenge a procedurally generated wasteland, loot gear, and explore what's left of a devastated world. When the odds are stacked against you, you'll need to do more than just survive. Dun dun dun.
It's
Um,
hard.
yeah, it's very hard. I think you've got more time in it than me at the moment, and I have played it on stream. This game, so I would say, if for any of you out there that know the game Escape from Tarkov, it is pretty much the same premise, only instead of multiplayer, it's single player, and instead of first person, it's a top-down 2D shooter. Um, this game's a lot of fun.
Hmm.
It's got that. It is very hard. It's very tough. You have to know when you're going to try and shoot something, whether it's a bunny or a deer, for food, because you might alert nearby enemies.
Hmm.
And if you do see a nearby enemy, how many are there? You don't know. It could be
You
one,
don't know.
two, three,
Yeah.
4, 5. You don't know. And it's very intense also, like it from the get-go. As soon as the game gives you the keys to the car, it is intense.
Yeah. When I first laid eyes on it, I thought 2D Fallout, like old school Fallout. 'Cause Fallout 1 and 2 are both, I believe, 2D.
Hmm.
And this game deals with you in a wasteland fighting um, mutated monsters, wildlife, additional soldiers as well, and you're trying to survive. And like Carrington said, sometimes you see one enemy walking around, and then three more come out of nowhere, out of the bushes, and you're literally just trying to get food, water, materials and stuff to take back to your base, so you can continue to build your base into something stronger, and just learn how to survive and to get the approval of your comrades around you as well, so they can put you out on more difficult missions to help uh, supply your base. And it is challenging. It's I want to say it's not beautiful. It's dark and
Yeah,
gritty,
yeah.
and the sound is incredible.
Hmm.
So it's such a great sound design in the game, and
The animation is really good too, and
it
it
is, yeah,
runs
yeah,
great.
yeah. It's been a fun game so far.
I can't wait to dig my teeth more into it, both on and off stream. The only problem is it is Steam only. So for those of you out there, maybe if you have a Steam Deck, because I know a lot of people have gotten Steam Decks over the holidays. I know a lot of people did at work, at least where I work. So that maybe that is something you could check out on your Steam Deck.
Hmm.
You don't need an incredibly taxing, or you don't need a super high end PC to run it either, because
No,
it is 2D.
it, yeah.
You just need a PC and boom, it runs.
Hmm. Yeah, I really so this is more, I feel like, of an original styled game. It
Hmm.
is an open world esque,
Hmm.
maybe open environment. Um,
And I believe technically it's still in early access.
mhm. Yeah,
So there's still expect new things, but it's not expensive. I think I got it for
15.
yeah, $15 sounds
Yeah,
right.
yeah, still in early access. There's still zones that you cannot get access to because they're still working on it.
Hmm.
But yeah, you pick up a mission, a task from the train conductor or from fellow soldiers to get resources. And yeah, there's a lot of times. Let's say I finish. It took me probably 6 times to get through the first mission to
Yeah,
fulfill my first task
and
without
I
either getting killed by radiation, killed
yeah,
by a monster, killed by wild boars, killed by wild wolves, killed by other enemies. Yeah, it's frustrating, but it's rewarding too.
and can I say, just when you have a group of like soldiers to go up against, yeah, they're hard and they're scary in a way that they're surprisingly very accurate no matter what weapon they're using. So you got to be
Yeah,
just as accurate.
slingshot, they nail you right in the head.
Absolutely every time. But wolves are scary. They're ruthless because as soon as
Oh
you see
yeah,
them, they're attacking you.
yeah, they don't care. Same with boars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a boar charge me across the map, and he struck me once with his horn, and I went down. Reset, had to reset the mission again.
And I will say that that is something I do like about the game. So let's say you spent and you have some gear and stuff and you die, it kind of resets you before you set out, so that way you
Hmm.
don't have to worry about saving. Yeah, you do lose what you have, obviously, because you died out in the wilderness, but it doesn't reset you so far back.
It doesn't. You don't lose resources that you had used either, like med
Hmm.
kits, food that you have to eat, because you have to make sure you're hydrated, to make sure that you're well fed. You have to make sure that you're not tired, so you sleep, and you also have to make sure that you are not fatigued, so you have to have plenty of energy. Or no, no, no,
Radiation
that
was the fourth thing.
radiation is the fourth one. Yeah, so you have to make sure your radiation levels are down.
Yeah, you talk about a resource management and all that stuff. It's just wow. But
Yeah.
it's fun. I didn't, because a lot of the games that my brother plays, I'm just not good at, and so I just don't
Mhm.
feel like I'm having fun. I have fun with Zero Sievert though.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see what comes with the full launch with this.
And welcome back. What do we do during our breaks, Kyle? We just chit chat a little bit for a second, hydrate, get ready for the next segments,
Collect
and
ourselves.
what's that?
We
Yeah, like
collect
yourselves.
ourselves.
We collect
Yeah.
ourselves. We collect
Just have like a
ourselves.
little refresh, like, all right, this is what we're gonna talk about, and then sometimes we do talk about it, and sometimes we don't talk about it. But you'll never
And
know.
exactly, because it's hidden from prying eyes. But
Yes.
I will say, what's not hidden is a new Power Wash DLC lets you clean Laura Croft's mansion.
Yep.
What?
Yeah. So have you played Power Wash Sim?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Me and
Okay.
Phil the chef played it one day. We played it for 2-3 hours one night.
Yeah. It is the most satisfyingly boring game I've ever played.
that is that is very accurate. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I think it's funny that it has got traction and people are enjoying it. And I love the fact that people are enjoying it because it is a different game.
Hmm.
And I feel like for anybody that has an OCD, the OCD about cleaning stuff, this definitely scratches that itch. But when I saw that you could clean Laura Croft's mansion, I was like, let's go. Get me in there. Let me clean that mansion off. Let me train on her course that she has out back, her her, that ninja warrior course that she has out back that you can do flips and stuff on, and let me trap that butler in the freezer because it's what I'm here for. And they better have the butler walking around that house.
Otherwise, you'll riot.
Yes. Yes.
When I read this as a headline, I'm like, no, really? Really? I guess I gotta play again.
Yeah. Definitely gonna have to re-download that. So I thought that was pretty sweet news. I don't know when the release is for that, or maybe it's already released. So I apologize for not putting that in there. But keep your eye out. If it's not out now, it's gonna be out in the future. You're gonna be able to clean Laura Croft's house, and that's all that matters.
That is all that matters. And the fact that it's an IP that they were able to include, I think speaks volumes. What else are you
Hmm.
gonna clean next? The Millennium Falcon? Uh,
Oh,
I just,
ooh, that's actually
since
really good. I didn't even think about
I
that. Like,
know.
what things can you clean? Like Falcon,
Because the
the
first
Death
mission it gives,
Star.
like it was the first mission it gives you is to clean a van. I'm like,
Right.
what vehicle would be cool to clean? The Falcon would be cool to clean.
Yep. Wow. Wow. Okay.
The sky
Man,
is the limit, my friend.
I like to think about that. Yeah.
And if you have any great ideas of what Power Wash Sim should do next, hit us up. We would love to
There
hear
you go.
your ideas.
The pyramids in Egypt.
They do need a cleaning. It's probably very dusty. They're centuries
Uh-huh.
old at this point.
Uh-huh.
Here's something that I think you and I both are looking forward to. It's kind of shocking as well that Session, the skateboarding game, is coming to the Nintendo Switch.
Yes.
Pre-orders are available now.
Yes. That was Creatures Studios released that fine information today. I am interested in seeing how it will run on the Switch.
If I remember Session correctly, I have a decent PC and it doesn't run super well on my PC. Like it runs, but I wouldn't say it's a consistent frame rate.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it's a little buggy, little glitchy at times, but I mean, I love the game.
I love
I
the game. Yeah,
absolutely love it.
if
Yeah.
devs are listening, I love the game. I'm not just
Yeah.
saying that. I really truly enjoy the game. It scratches an itch that we need in the gaming space right now, in the gaming world. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
It'll be interesting to see how it runs on the Switch.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. All
um,
the more power. It's like when Tony Hawk's Pro Skater went from PlayStation 1 to Nintendo 64. You're like, where's half the audio tracks on here?
yeah, yeah. We're half the game.
Yeah, or half the game. Yeah.
Here's one that I love, and I wish I had just money to just spend. When you see something like I wish if I just had $1 million, these are the things I would spend money on. There's a Stray Travel cat backpack available for $140. And yes, you heard me right. It is a Stray cat backpack. So it's a backpack where you can put your cat in it.
Here's a picture for you. We'll just let you look at that. Yeah, I have no words for it. It's hilarious. And it's colorful, and the cat looks somewhat terrified slash somewhat curious as to what's going on in the outside world. I believe it has a harness on it to where it won't hop out, because I feel like cats could jump out of that fairly easy. And you can zip it up, and then the cat can look outside this little astronaut bubble.
I think that is awesome. And I think that is a thing that's becoming a thing because I know of a guy I used to work with who has a cat and he bought a cat backpack to take it outside. So I think it's a thing that's becoming more popular for some reason.
It probably is. I think people are becoming more and more in love with cats.
Yes, if I
Oh,
could
yeah.
have a cat, I would totally have one right now. My landlord
Yeah.
does not allow pets though, so
What a jerk. Sorry.
Here's some sad news that's happened very, very
Mhm.
recently. Um, Microsoft laid off 10,000 people today, and part of that staff, I don't know how the whole breakdown works at the moment, but I know 1/3 of 343's studios, which is the Halo team, got laid
Hmm.
off today. So 1/3 of that team got laid off
That's
today. That's a huge chunk.
devastating. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awful news. And uh, I I love seeing companies like Bungie step up and post that, hey, we're hiring here. Send your applications here. I saw a couple posts like that on Twitter today after seeing the mega loss of these layoffs. It's awful, and it makes you worry about the future of game companies and what these big AAA companies can do. It's such a sad thing to see. At the flip side, and I hope this doesn't come across as insensitive, I hate seeing that these people have lost their jobs, obviously. Um, but maybe a couple will be inspired to create their own studios,
I
possibly.
don't think that's a bad thought, because honestly, at the end of the day, it's a lose-lose situation
Right,
for all of us. As you know, you have a lot of people that lost their jobs, probably providing for their families,
right,
and for us as consumers and as gaming fans, um, the quality may not be there, or we might see more delays. Um, with games that are coming out soon. I think it's just a lose lose all around. No
right,
one wins in this situation, and I really hate to see it. And it makes you wonder, because Microsoft's also trying to buy out Activision's
right. And
Blizzard.
Blizzard, yeah,
So how can they afford to buy a brand new big company like that and then lay off some
love all these
people?
people. Yeah.
Raises some eyebrows.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It
But
definitely does.
hopefully those 10,000 people find new homes, and who knows, maybe they'll form new indie studios for us, and they'll bring us fresh new ideas to
Fresh
enjoy.
content. Yeah, and they would definitely be supported and loved by the community. Guaranteed.
Oh, 100%,
Yeah.
100%. Another sad thing, but I don't think anyone is surprised by this sad thing. Google Stadia shut down, uh, technically 2 days ago.
Hmm. This week.
This week. Yeah, so today we were recording this on the 19th of January. It supposedly shut down on the 17th of January. I did see some people were still able to access and play their games through the server. So I don't know if it's officially shut down even
Yeah.
yet.
Maybe it was delayed. I know it shut down this week, and I could have sworn it was the 17th. Let me just double check.
You're probably right. I just saw a
Google
couple things on Twitter. It's like,
Stadia.
I'm still playing Stadia today, but I don't think it's everyone's experience right now though.
Shut down on the 18th. So
So
I apologize
yesterday.
for that one day. Yeah, that one day delay there. But yeah, I don't know if you saw it. I On Twitter, I saw that Rockstar sent a YouTuber a care package because YouTubers spent thousands of hours playing Red Dead Redemption 2, and for them to lose all that progress and all that time, I mean that's sad. But in all fairness, it's nice that they were able to send him a care package. And same with there was a Destiny 2 character or player that had lost. They couldn't, for some reason, they were not able to transfer the character, the saves, or anything to another platform, another system. It was only on the Google Stadia, and they were going to lose all their progress on there. Could you imagine? Because you and I both, and you spent more time playing Destiny, but there was a phase where we went through, played the Taken King at the beginning of Destiny 2, spent tons of hours playing that game. Could you imagine just, well, we're shutting down servers here, and you can't move your character?
I would be devastated.
Yeah,
Even I have not played Destiny 2 in probably 6 to 8 months, because I try and just boot it up and just play for a little bit every once in a while.
right.
Even then, I may not play it a lot, but if I lost all my stuff, I would be devastated.
Hmm. Yeah,
Especially something like Red Dead Redemption 2. And here's the thing, because you're probably listening going, well, it's Google Stadia. They
right.
should have known. But I know people that have Stadias or had them, because they don't have a beefy PC. They don't have a console, and that was like the next best thing for
That
them.
was that
And it
was their
was,
thing. Yeah.
and to get into it was $100. Like, yeah, why wouldn't they?
It and it's sure the majority of people think boo Google Stadia, but there are those people out there that loved it, that enjoyed
Mm-hmm.
playing it. And so I feel for those people. I really do feel for them at the fact that their system is gone. So it'd be like, oh, the Xbox is shutting down.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer Xbox over PlayStation. I prefer it over Switch. That's my go-to. But if it was shut down, I mean, I would be devastated. I would
Mm-hmm.
be upset over it. So I definitely feel bad for the people that paid more attention to the Stadia than other consoles, and I hope that they're able to find another outlet for gaming, and able to either find a new game that they love, maybe an indie game that you've not played, since Red Dead and Destiny both are not indie games, But
I'm just
you know,
saying. I'm just saying. You could. Xbox has cloud gaming, and it, they do it really well. Kyle, your face.
it's not great. It's not bad, but it's not great.
It works well for me in the situations I need it for. How's
Yeah,
that?
that's good. That is well put.
We just want to give a quick shout out though to a fan of ours who commented on one of our videos over on YouTube. 12th Supernova Beepo said, "Still listening to the first episode, but I wanted to mention that Gree is actually on sale right now for 424 in the eShop. That plus the praise you gave it convinced me to buy it. Well, I hope you enjoy it because I did as well. Even though it was a very, very short experience, I probably beat it in about 2 hours. It was a beautiful, beautiful experience still to go through.
It, it was also 424.
What did I say?
For 2 hours. For 2 hours. No, no, no.
Yeah.
You said it
Oh yeah.
right. For
Okay.
2 hours. You know what costs more than 424 and you enjoy in 20 minutes?
What's that?
Starbucks coffee.
True. Or
Do you know? Go ahead.
it costs you roughly $10 to $12 to enjoy Avatar, and that's
Exactly.
3 hours.
Exactly. So you're getting a good deal. And 12th Supernova Beepo, we appreciate you so much, and I hope that you enjoy Gree. Gree. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And
I
hope
believe it is.
it's reassuring, Carrington. For me, it's reassuring to know like people are actually like they're taking our suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
I love it,
It's
and I
great.
and I feel like if you have an appreciation for good art, good music, and a unique gameplay, then you'll be in for a treat for a lot of the games that we talk about.
100%. I think I gifted Greed to a couple people on my Steam library. I'm like, because I think that they would enjoy it as well. And it's
Mhm.
just a game. I remember hearing that game. I think Kyle Hilliard mentioned it on Game Informer,
Probably
on their podcast when he was, well, he's working there now again, right?
right. He's back.
Yeah, this is before he left the first time.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put that, but yeah, it was a while ago because I think it's 2019 it came out or something like that. So it's an older now it's older air quotes, but it's worth it.
Yeah. Very much so.
So for our discussion, we kind of circle back to Stadia really quick. With the Stadia going offline and people losing their data and save progress, do we need to rethink basically digital games versus physical? That's a good question.
Mhm.
My I'd say 95% of my library is digital at the moment.
I am probably right there with you. The only physical games that I own are for the Nintendo Switch, and that's like
Yep.
5 games
Yep.
because they hold their value.
They hold their value. Yep. And I mean, I would say still most of my games on Switch are still digital, but it's because it's a great indie haven, and most of those
It is.
games won't have physical releases because it costs a lot of money to go physical.
Yeah.
Um, It's a good question, Kyle. That's a very good question. So how's this? Let me put this out there real quick. PC has been digital since basically since Steam came out, mid 2000s, I'd say, mid to late
Hmm.
2000s. And so my PC library has been 100% library since my
Digital.
yeah, thank you. My PC library has been 100% digital since then.
Hmm.
I think in that time frame, maybe 2 or 3 games have been left behind in the dust. One of those being I can't remember Cliff Blazinski's game that his last game that he made. I can't remember what it is. The guy who made Gears of War. He had a game on. He created his own indie company, made a game. It lasted maybe a year, and then shut down the servers.
Can't help you with that one.
Sorry. Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was just high skill, high learning curve. Um, that's the only one that jumps to mind on Steam that I own and I cannot play, and it's sitting in my Steam library, and I can't. If I install it, I wouldn't be able to play it.
Uh, I, th-
Yeah.
I I think my concern is with this is what if Steam shuts down?
Don't you say those
What
words.
what if Steam goes bankrupt
No.
and they shut down because you can't if Steam's gone, you can't play any of the games you purchased. I mean, they can be downloaded to your computer, but you need to be logged on to Steam to play it.
Yep. Yep.
You know what games you can play forever? Super Mario Brothers for the original Nintendo.
You are correct.
Mario Kart for the Nintendo 64.
You are
Golden
correct.
GoldenEye for the 64.
Mm-hmm.
Legend of Dragoon for PS1. You can go
Mm-hmm.
back and play those games anytime you want. And that's why I think physical copies they hold value and they I believe are still very important. Are they
I
convenient? No,
No,
not
because
by
they
any
can
means.
break. And
Right.
there's pros and cons to physical as well. Like they can break, they can get scratched, um, and eventually you got to find another copy somehow. Sometimes, you know,
Yeah, but you
but
can still
you can
well, I
still,
guess with older cartridges, I guess you lose your save progress, but
yeah,
yeah, I guess you deal with mechanical malfunctions,
yeah. So there
hardware
are pros
malfunction.
and cons to both for sure. Oh man, and it's really like a weird situation to be in at the moment too. If you own physical, if you own a Switch, you own a physical, you own the game. I will say that,
Right.
because you don't have to worry about anything. But if it's at this point, if it's Xbox or PlayStation and you buy physical, it still downloads a copy. You're
Right.
basically buying a disc to confirm that you own the copy,
Right.
and I think that's dumb. That's stupid.
It is. For sure. Yeah, it is stupid. Um I guess where I was kind of getting with this is do we need to see more companies pushing their physical copies of their games? Now I know you've got companies like Limited Run Games where
Hmm.
they do with indie games. And I understand not everybody can afford to do that. And it's
Hmm.
easier just to do a digital game. And I understand for indie games, smaller companies, I totally get that. But if you have the means to make a physical copy, I feel like you should. I feel like
As a some sort of preservation or backup situation
right.
for sure. Because I do own 2 digital games on Xbox, which are now available, but they were gone for a while. And those were Two Human and Lost Odyssey on Xbox. Bought those
Mm,
games digital due to licensing rights. They were left
pretty
away.
cool.
And then it was basically right before COVID, both those games became available again. And I got to enjoy them again. So
Mhm.
there is a possibility, even like bigger, well known games because both those games are made by bigger studios, that it can still disappear.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I remember the Lost Odyssey physical edition. My buddy had it for the original Xbox, and always thought the game looked stunning when it came out originally.
I love that game. I love it's a Japanese RPG. The story's really well done. It's the graphics actually still hold up.
Yeah.
Um, and good luck finding a physical copy now, though. I think resale value you're looking at $80 to $100.
Pricey.
Yeah,
That's pricey.
and that's another thing. That if say you bought a game when it first came out, it was say it was $40 when you bought it, and it broke or you lost it or what have you. Good luck finding another copy for
Yeah.
a reasonable price.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's definitely a good
That
point.
does that certainly that's not the case for everything, but for certain games that is definitely the case.
I worry about if it happens in my lifetime, when the eShop shuts down or the Xbox Live Shop shuts down or Steam shuts down. It's like, well, I've got all these games. I've got at least 500 games across all platforms. That
Hmm.
at least 500.
I have
That
700
could potentially
alone on Steam.
on Steam. Yeah,
700
I know
on
you got
Steam.
quite a big library, but like that's a lot of money gone.
Yeah.
Imagine your backlog getting wiped.
Mm. I do know for sure, like as far as Nintendo's concerned, Wii Shop, the Wii Shop, I can't remember what it's called. The shop for the Wii, that's gone.
Mhm.
The shop for the Wii U, gone. And I did own some of those games, and I'm like, I can never. If I
Can't
wanted
even
to,
play it.
if I wanted to boot those games up again that I
Nope.
owned, can't do it. Can't
Nope.
do it. And
Nope. Nope.
those
They're gone.
I they're gone. And I will say, I think if I remember correctly, it was mostly indie titles that I owned digitally on those consoles. Everything
Mhm.
I owned pretty much was physical at the time still, because I was still physical at the time.
Yeah. So I don't know. Listeners, viewers, let us know. What do you think? Do you think that there should be more love and respect for physical games, or do you just not care and you want to see more digital games and you're going to continue to build your digital collection up? I'd like to know that.
I would like to know that as well. I was burned by physical, so I'm trying to be digital where I can.
Right. It's more environmental friendly.
That too.
Yeah.
Let me just tell the story real quick, and then we can end it. This is
Okay.
why I was burned on physical. This is just my experience. Take it for what you will. Halo 5 came out. I'm gonna play Halo 5. Let's go. I bought it physical because I would like any games that I want to keep forever. I want to buy physical, so I bought Halo 5. Day of release, it came out. Got home, opened the bag. It was sitting on my doorstep waiting for me. Opened the packaging, opened it up, popped it in. Because everyone was playing Halo 5 and I had to download a digital copy, even though I owned a physical copy, still took 6 hours to
Mm-hmm.
download.
Well, everybody else had theirs downloaded.
Yep. If you owned
Yeah.
a digital copy, like
I
if you
remember
pre-ordered
that.
digital, you had it ready to go. You were already playing.
I believe that was trending in the time when that happened, as far as why did I buy this if I still have to download this?
Hmm. I think you're
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So, but that's just me, my experience. Your mileage will vary.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a sucky situation.
And with that, we leave you with our thoughts. We would love to hear yours. Reach out to us on any of the social media. We are at KK Indie Gaming on Twitter and Instagram. That's where we're most active. We have other social medias as well, but we will see you if you tweet at us, if you comment on something or DM us on Instagram or Twitter. That's, like I said, that is where we are most active. That's what we pay attention to the most. Kyle, do you have anything else before we go?
Uh, mm, no.
And you guys have a fantastic day.
Bye.